Texas Hold'em poker, or just Texas Hold'em, but it's just like, man, it's so much fun, and you know that it is somewhat of a mental game. You gotta do calculations, this and that, probabilities, percentages. Why you put the number in your mind. What a chance of him having something better than I have. You know, you get 3 community cards. Actually, there's 3 out, and then you get 2 more, and you get 2. So you gotta make out of those 5, 7. You gotta make the best combo, the best 5. You know, but it's that's it. But it's like it's all it's majority is a mental game, and I was thinking, let's say you watch people, but none of them you can hear the sound. It's like watching a computer game. Even at, Texas or Hold'em poker on computer, it's just not as fun. And there's a chat box you could type, but or a general chat, but people don't take advantage of that. So it's like, what's the point? It's boring. I don't care for that. And it was years ago. I was told that people go on that, but in New Jersey, to my understanding, it's illegal, or at least it was when I checked for it. Like in your state, we can't this, and that. And it was just so odd because New Jersey has Atlantic City. It has people know about Vegas and Atlantic City, the mecca of gambling, right? So it's like it's a weird law. It's like if somebody takes the money in the pool and they make a lot of money off you, then it's legal. But if you just make money and someone make a little bit of money, like an application or website for having that, then it's illegal, right? So basically, we're talking about whoever sits behind the desk with his little tie and suit. It's if they get paid or if their people, their friends get paid, then it's illegal. See, that's immoral and unethical. There's a lot of things like that in Jersey. I found it's just pretty much that. It's about who makes the money. It's not about creating a peaceful environment or society or country or nation or state or city or county. It's not even that. It's about who really makes money. So fuck prison. I could care fucking less. I'm not immoral, I'm unethical, and I see right through you. I don't have to talk to you. All it is the freaking laws. And you know what? If the whole United States were like that, alright, well, that's your principle, this and that. But you go to states different and it works much, much better. A certain state that just figured out and it just works much better, and it's a lot better for the communities. It is a degrading to sacrifice people's lives for their own pockets. And a lot of things, I think it's indirect. They do it on purpose. They do it on purpose. It's like if you told them, you make a couple dollars, but if you burn on the ground, scorch the whole earth, you get a couple dollars. They would do it. They burn themselves alive in the long run because that's what they're doing, indirectly or directly. I still haven't figured that one out. On a smaller scale, you say, well, they have no nuclear bombs, and it doesn't matter. The United States has an arsenal of nuclear bombs. Indirectly, that's what they're aiming for. A lot of them is directly. They will just nuke this whole place over and over again. But they have their own country, the most. In America, Midwest. They actually, even though they say it's testing, they kill their own soldiers doing it, and they give people cancer. Radiation poisoning in the works. But, it's really a mental game and just, trying to psych someone out. And I'm led to believe that somebody looked at my cards when I walked to the bathroom. That's a cheap shot. But then it's like, the part of me that, when I try to bluff somebody, I really believe, I think about like I have a high card. I don't even think of the card. Sometimes I do. And it's, you have to play the actor role. You have to deceive. That's part of the game. If you don't do that, just, you're just waiting. And it's not on luck. You have to get a good card. You have to be skilled to probability. But you can apply all of those, It's one of the reasons why I don't like the championship of poker. I don't watch it for that. It's just, there's no talk and everybody just sits there and they have these high cards and $100,000, $200,000 stakes. That's just not fun. It could be for quarters or pennies, as long as you had the heart and soul of the game. At least to mine, even when it's dealt with deception, it's part of the flavor, I mean, let me see. How would what analogy I could make? You have the best steak and just throw it on a pan. but like oil or some butter, and it would just come out like greasy, like diner food, just like beef steak, thin, or just even like this kid named David, he used to do his steak, it was just gross. It was like the whole room just smelled like raw, like just raw beef, but like not enough fat or something. And even the fat just looks disgusting. But if you marinate it and you throw it on a grill, you know how exactly it's just especially a filet mignon. Oh, it's delicious. You don't even need A1 sauce. Well, that's pretty great with it as well. But it's like you can take something great and just make it utterly disgusting. Or something decent and just make it mild, bland, to the point where it's like, yeah, well, it's expensive, but it's not fun. It's not tasting. It's not tasting right. What do I want that for? And as far as I don't know if it's the Texas Hold'em game is or poker game is legal here in Jersey. I could care less. See, this is the internet base of it. This is what I used to play on the internet. Let me see if I pull a picture up. Actually, that's just a little bit better. It has some certain personality to the characters, even though you have avatars there. See, I don't know what that is from. And just free poker games, like you got fake money or something like that. It's just for fun. But even then, people just take it to another level. It's like, they wait the full 30 seconds before placing a bet or calling, just right to the exact. It's like, just be in the freaking game, man. Like, have a mind, wake up. You don't want to ride type people, so it gets annoying. And then there's the sounds they have, it's just irritating. A real life game, even though it's for quarters and a couple dollars, it's just so much fun, It does suck when you lose, but you gotta play. Eventually, you could get right back. It hurts when you lose, like especially when you put a 20, the other chips, and you like another 20, and the money just depletes. You're like, all right, I gotta slow it down. I gotta calculate better. I gotta calculate better, and then I'm for myself. I'm like, let me just enjoy the game. Why am I so obsessed about the money? Let me just take a figure some out, talk some trash, and just have fun with it. Let me watch other people as well. Eventually, you watch other people, this and that, but you just want to get in on that, even though you don't win. But you just either you scare somebody and they fold, and it's like it is a kind of a good feeling. But then you give somebody else, the chance to win. You ease up of the tension from them. But it's really much about that, Like I could watch football, this and that, and a lot of that, especially martial arts, and it is fun to watch. I admit, it's a very high contact sport, this and that. But it's also so much fun to practice it, all of that, And there's always somebody waiting to take the flavor out of it. Speaking of flavor, I mean, I'm going back to that, but it's you can't get too sour, prissy, or hurt about bluffing, and somebody saying a couple words, especially when you say your words too, and you act a certain way. Like a lot of people I met, not that you should be who you are. I don't even know where I'm going with that, but you gotta bluff a certain way. You gotta put a certain image. You gotta stand tough. And there's people that violate this. You get violated back with words. But you get offended by that. You get hurt by that. Just like, well, what are you doing here? And I found out that the game I play with my relatives, it's like they defend each other when you start to make fun of them. Not make fun, but you say a couple things. It's like, well, what are you doing, man? Like, you're your own person. He's his own person. Let him play. And just why are you getting into that? It's very much like, not childish, but it's like cowardice. It's like, just stop. It looks creepy. And then he just said, hey, you're not gonna get me with that. I just, I'm talking about my dad. I'll talk some smack to you. I'll make fun of you. But it's all just for fun. I'm not really offended or angry. Just, we're playing a game, so just, let it play. But the whole bluffing part, I really get into it. And I just, I'm thinking like, no, I just, I might have like nothing or just something small, but it's like, when I have nothing, it's very rare, very rare. And a lot of times, I bluff like, I just, whatever. It's like the same stuff. I try to keep a profile of the same. I don't accentuate like, yes, that like, all right, here, I'm gonna give you 4. Let's see, unless it's like I'm messing with you. Because if I really have a good, great card, I'm not gonna do that. Unless sometimes it's already figured me out, so then I have to do that. Go either way. A lot of times I'm studying their faces. Depending what they move, what they think, so then I'll go the other way. But, it's fun. It's fun to have that experience, and then you could have a couple of beers, this and that. You know, you get a little loose, you get a little creative. You know, you want to say what you really think about or something. You know, condescendingly. You know, you just imitate somebody and wow, you give me job. Probably because you were drunk the whole time. You don't remember. Actually, that guy that I just imitated as Rafa, no, he was sober. Just one time he got hammered as fuck. I was like, wow, he doesn't yell at his kid. I thought he's a good dad. You know, I've been drunk, like, get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to win. People get really just like, you know, it's like, you know, $80 or $90, the most I got. It was like 92, I think, you know. And the last time I think it was like 80 something. Or 60, you know. I was like, that's not the most, but it's okay. I don't know if I ever went on a negative. Maybe once, but it's not that I don't like to be a negative. I usually lose like $20, $40 a win, but then I just slow it down, pace it down, and I just, you know, I pick back up. There was times I lost $20, and it's like I had to borrow money from my mom, another 20, you know. A couple times I had like a 20 on myself, but that 20 could go like that. One or two hands or three hands, and you're just gone. You know, even when you think you have a good card. And yeah, you can figure out, you know, my Uncle Stanley Skarupa clan, whatever, you know, when he puts like 50 cents, you know, he just sits back, you're like, even the 50 cents, like, oh man, he has a great card. You know, some people like $2, $4, they just try to give him money, he just, you know, that 50 cents, is, you know, it's like every time, you're like, it's usually me and him, he like always gets me by a hair. And it's like, fuck, he always has a good card. So then I figured out if he puts like, you know, after like the second round, he like, you know, he puts 50 cents, like, oh, I'm folding. I don't even want to get into that. That would be the smartest thing, you know. But the game player part of me is like, fuck it, I want to see a card, you know. I want to see what he has at the end. Plus, I want to see if I get him or I shake him down. But you know, there's also the element of like, you know, you fold. I mean, no, you fold. No one checks you. Everybody folds, so you just put your cards away, you know. My dad over there looks at the cards what you have, like, no, man, you gotta pay for that. You should have stayed in the game. Give me a couple of dollars. Sometimes I say, sometimes I don't, but it's like, what do you want to know for? You know, he does the same thing, you know. And people tell him like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Depends how I wanna hurt you with it. Because you know, everybody gets hurt. Like, fuck, I could have had it like $6. You know, it's like a Texas hold. I mean, like the championship poker, you're like, oh, what a bunch of broke idiots, right? But you know, it's the joy in that you get somebody for that, and not so much the money, but that money comes well. But just when you pull all those chips in, you know, and you're spending, like, come on, hurry up, like, I'm trying to count it, you know, it's like all these chips and stuff, you know. It feels really good to, you know. Especially when someone walks down, they're like, wow, look, he has all the money or something, and you have all these chips, and you're like, all right, give me $20, $40. And you get like either 20 or 40. Once I think I think $40 was too much, but I got it 20 and I still had a lot of chips, you know? So it's like, you know, can't wait till I get that changed over and I get another $20, just put it in your pocket and just, you know, keep adding till like, you know, at the end of the night. And even if somebody gets you for a lot of money, you're like, fuck. It doesn't feel good, but you know, at the end of the day, you had so much fun. Like you got other people, and you know, you bluff, you didn't bluff, you figured them out. You know, a lot of times you fold at the right moment, and you just watch other people. You know, but you're part of the experience. You know, instead of just being like a generic at the computer. You know, and like, you know, having it's like no life. You know, and look, as far as the gambling thing, I know that exists, but it's like, if that's the way you're gonna make money, hey, that's good. You make a couple grand a week, a month, a day, even. I don't even know, a couple $100. That's a good way to get money. I understand that, but to me, it'd be kind of boring, you know. Unless, you know, it's like you make money, you make a living. I don't know. I have other things on my mind, you know. It felt like, you know, my standpoint is like, as far as fast as you make it, you can lose it as fast. You know, they could be like addicted. Like you sit by the computer. I don't even like to sit by the computer like right now. It's something I do, even on the chat sites. I do 10, 15, 20 minutes, and I want to leave. You know, it's the screen, not just the eyes, but it's just it's very generic. You know, I don't even like television that much. Majority of the time I sit on YouTube, it's, you know, to watch music videos or just songs, play songs, and like, you know, lately it's, you know, acoustic covers of like great songs by random people that are talented. And then I watch the news, but and I watch something, but just too aggravating, too negative. And that I just feel like it would spoil something that I really love, and I don't want to go there.